pretty sure I already did that.
You
but, okay. Now I double did it.
Hi, everybody. My name is Steven, and
I'm Derek. We know how to do this.
Derek. And this is RC Lawn Chair Pilots Podcast.
Welcome.
Roll. Welcome back, everybody.
Thank you for joining us for episode 10. This is so exciting. We've done this for 10 episodes. That makes this 5 months we've been going.
Every other week.
Yeah, about 5 months.
So
5 months.
4.5 months. That's
For those of you that are sticking around and hanging out with us this much, thank you.
Thank you very much. And my seat is sitting weird, so I apologize. Give me a second.
How is your seat sitting weird?
I don't know. Maybe I'm just sitting weird on my seat.
That's entirely possible.
So we have all kinds of stuff going on today. We're going to probably go a little long, hopefully not too long. There's just so much.
You added a lot of stuff.
So much going on. So let's get jumping right into the news. Derek, what do you got?
Okay, so first off, we received our sponsor package from rcbattery.com. Came with... So we when we spoke to Richard, he's like, what batteries do you want to test out? And we're like, okay, well, these are the batteries we use. He's like, okay. So he sent us those.
Yeah.
And he sent us a battery, or 2 battery bags. And he sent us 9 battery straps. And he sent us batteries we didn't even ask for. And they're absolute.
And a battery charger for me.
And a battery charger for Steven.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much stuff.
Yeah. And then.
So we got all that, and we're now working on going through, evaluating. I've already got one flight on one of the batteries that I got.
I have gotten actually
so far handles great.
Yeah, I've gotten 3-4 flights on the one.
Oh, sweet.
We'll talk more about that. So yeah.
Okay, so we got our sponsor package. Don't forget our discount code. It is good through the end of October. October 31st is the last day. Oh, I just had it there. Where'd it go? Phone. I didn't even write it down.
You didn't. It'll be, again, right here. Again.
Discount code will be right here.
Watch
be sure to use that. Get yourself 15% off your order before shipping and taxes.
Yes.
So.
And that goes, like he said, until the end of October. October 31st is the last day you can use that.
Yep.
So.
All right. That is all the news that I have.
Yeah, I got all kinds of stuff this
Steven's
week.
got all the
Oh,
news.
my gosh. I have been super busy. So. Last time I asked you guys for glider suggestions. Well, Derek gave me a glider suggestion. So guess what? I bought that glider. That glider is the Night Radian
E-Flite Night Radian
FT 2 meter. So
the flight test version.
Yes, it is. I'll get more into that. Then we got our batteries, which we just talked about. Super excited about the batteries. I got a battery charger, which we talked about, but that is freaking awesome. I've been playing with that.
You'll see more details of that in our reviews.
Yes, coming up.
Coming out in the next month or so.
So I today was a busy day to me. For me, I also did this week. I've done a ton of stuff. So I started working on building an RC vehicle. I'm not sure if it's going to be flying or just a car, but interfacing it with an Arduino. So I'm just been digging in. So I got to code the Arduino to read the transmitter information to do whatever it is I'm going to do.
Once you do that, let me know.
I will totally.
So I can use that code because I've got an Arduino Nano I want to turn into a light controller.
Yeah. I'll totally let you know.
We'll share that code with you guys. We'll find a way to share that code with you guys.
Yeah, it'll be in one of the descriptions somewhere.
The link to the Arduino
stuff that I do.
Bucket.
Yeah. And then I have ordered some new speed controllers for another vehicle project that I'm going to do. And so it should be here at the end of October, beginning of November. Hopefully shipping goes faster than that because they're coming from China. But, that's what happens.
Speaking of ordering stuff, our heat shrink will be in tomorrow.
Ooh, awesome. Sweet.
So much heat shrink.
Yeah, so much. Okay. That's the news I've got. So let's jump into products. I've got so much stuff, and I'm super excited about what I've been doing.
Feel free to slow down and relax.
Shh. I can't do that, man. I cannot slow down or relax. Okay. So, products I'm using. I got the ISDT Q8 charger that came with our batteries from rcbatteries.com. Check it out. Oh my gosh, this battery charger is freaking awesome. The only thing I had to do is put an adapter on one of my AC to DC converters so I could plug it in.
Yes, because it is this is technically a field charger.
Yeah.
So you power it off a big LiPo pack to charge your smaller LiPo packs.
Exactly.
That is the plan. Or you use like a cigarette lighter plug adapter for
Off of your car.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I found one that was in the I have
He has a lot of stuff.
I have a lot of electronic spare parts that I just don't want to throw away, and I slowly find reasons to use them, and this is one of them. So I did that. Freaking, it's been amazing. I have loved testing this product. We will do a more in-depth review of that, so I'm not going to do it here, but so far I am in love with this thing. On my ELF, I put my ELF back together. I'll talk more about that later.
The ELF is no longer on the shelf?
Nope.
Yay.
And in that, I've got the RX4R for my ELF. So that's the receiver that I'm putting in there. I've got the Nano 40 HS 40 servos in there also, and then the battery I've talked about. For my vehicles that I'm working on, I'm going to be using the FreeSky VD5M receiver. It's a 5-channel receiver, and that's
very old.
Yes, it is, but that's why I got that adapter for my transmitter.
Which
we talked about like
XJT module
7 episodes ago.
Yeah, forever ago.
It was like episode 3. And various batteries. We already talked about that, but it's freaking awesome. So I'm talking about it again.
You can slow down.
But I'm super excited. And so this is really, really cool. Then my new glider. So it's the Night Radian FT, so flight test, 2-meter glider.
Made by Flite.
It is so far freaking awesome.
It's huge.
It looks super sick at night or in the dusk time. Man, it lights up. Oh, it is amazing. So
I recommend dusk, not full-blown night.
Yeah.
It gets hard to see fast.
It's very hard. But we'll talk a little bit more about that in the next section. So, Derek, I went through that really fast, but that's because I'm super, super excited about moving to some of these other things I've got going on. But holy crap, I'm diving into lots of projects this week. It's been awesome. So, Derek, what products are you using right now?
So we've got our new LiPo batteries from rcbattery.com. We're gonna plug the snot out of these guys because man, they're treating us well.
Oh yeah, thank you again. Thank you again.
Like even after this discount code runs out, we're still gonna be plugging them because my word.
Oh yeah, this is very good.
We got to do good reviews for them.
Yeah, and Richard, feel free to send us anything else you want. We'll just keep plugging it. So
okay. So got my batteries. I'll talk about it more, but I did get out and fly one of my batteries. I got a 500 milliamp 3-cell and got out and flew it. It fit perfectly in the plane that I put it in, and power out of it felt great. I flew for 5, 6, maybe 7 minutes before I let my wife I'll tell more about this, but before it was crashed. And the battery still had plenty of voltage left in it. I could have gone for another 3-4 minutes.
That's awesome.
So great little battery so far.
Yeah.
The other thing, if you don't have a 3D printer, a friend with a 3D printer is just as good.
Yes, it is. Sometimes better because
then you don't have to
buy the filament unless you're cool and you give him some money for it.
I tried to, but he won't let me.
You just got to put an envelope in.
Yeah. So I've got a backdoor neighbor that has 3 3D printers.
Yes, and they're running almost 24/7. He says
he is constantly pumping out stuff. But he's the one that made the 3D printed parts for my foam board CNC machine, and he's printed out a couple other things for me. One of those are these little battery plug connector indicators. Let me get closer to the camera for a sec.
And
so what they are?
Okay, yeah.
There are 2 here, or technically 4. There are 2 colors, red and green. Green means fully charged. Red means discharged. We'll put links for where you can get these files off Thingiverse. There's also a yellow version for storage charge.
Oh, I need to get me some of these.
Yeah, these are really nice. But what they are is you slip them over the terminal of like your XT60 terminal on your battery.
Okay.
To tell you whether it's been charged or not.
That sounds awesome. I love this idea. So
on my batteries, I've got this one indicates that it's been fully charged.
And he does have different sizes.
Yeah, I've got 10 red and 10 green of each size in XT60 and XT30.
Okay, but no XT90s.
No,
Which you
because
didn't know you
until
needed.
just now. Yeah, you'll hear more about this, but we have a couple of monster batteries.
Yeah, they're freaking awesome. Watch for the reviews.
Where is it?
I don't know.
There it is. Okay, and then here's one with, this is the Liperior X or 3S 500 that I just used, so it's got a red plug cap on it.
Meaning you have used it, but it's
I mean,
not
it's been
storage.
discharged. It's
Completely?
No, not completely.
It's just been, it's not 100%
it's been
basically.
used,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's not set for storage.
Exactly. So those are really awesome because now instead of taking out my LiPo voltage checker and being like, what charge is this at? Is it charged? I can now just cycle through these plugs and I know exactly which ones I need to charge. Oh, and then I also, this wasn't listed, but I got a new app. This will be a product. It is, what is it called? It's
Battery something.
It's a Flite and battery, RC Flite and battery log. So it allows you to put your airplanes, your transmitter setup, and all your batteries in and keep track of the cycles, your flights, your flight times, how many times you cycled the battery, when you store them, like when they were last charged, when they were last discharged, all that stuff. So that in combination with these plugs will help me really get a good feel for how well these Liperior batteries are performing.
Yeah.
Which I'm super excited for.
Yeah. The other nice thing about this is like you have to enter it all manually, which is fine, but like it's going to give you like how much life are you using?
Yeah.
Did you get out of the battery? Which is what we're like, why we're testing these.
Yeah.
But like this is like,
which we won't have that
app,
answer for probably years.
Yeah. Potentially.
But it'll let us see in the short term
how it's performing,
how they're performing, which is awesome. So
yeah.
So yeah, that battery and flight tracker, the RC Flite and battery log, it's free, but you can get it for free, but it'll limit you to 2 models, 1 pilot, and 8 batteries. If you pay the $2 for the full version, you get unlimited on all that.
And that is from the Android app store.
It is also on iOS.
It is on iOS. Is it the same pricing?
I don't know. It
So
might
the
be the
pricing
same, if
might
not
be
close.
different. Yeah, it may be a little different from the iOS store, but from Android, that's the stats.
Yeah. So those are the latest products that I've got going on.
Sweet.
Was there anything else?
Let's have you jump into your latest outings, unless you have something else.
Well, I'm looking at my computer desk that's over here.
I don't see
also
anything.
my workstation. No. Okay, latest outings. So
Yeah.
I have what was it? 2 years ago, maybe 3. My little brother, while he was still up at Utah State, they had a laser cutter machine up there at the lab, and he cut me out my Flight Test Simple Cub.
Yeah,
and he also cut me out a Flight Test Mini Mustang.
That's that one.
The one up top, yeah. And I haven't flown it because I've just been slow about getting to it, and I've really wanted to. I finally decided to finish it and get it ready to fly, and I took it out so last night, me, my wife, and our boys went out to the water towers by our house, and we flew. I got the boys both boys on the little Flight Test freighter, the little FT freighter, the tiny gray one.
That one up there?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Both boys flew it. They had a great time. I even got my wife to fly it. She had a great time.
Nice.
And then I got the Mini Mustang out, tossed it straight out of the gate, took very little trimming. It was amazing. I set that up surprisingly well.
Nice job.
So it took off, it flew. I flew it around for a little while, and then I asked my wife if she wanted to fly it, and she's like, yeah, I'll try it. So I had her get in front of me. I put my arms around her and got it in position, then let her take over the sticks, and she flew it, and she did good for like a minute, and then it came around, and it looped under and too close to the ground, and she nosed it into the ground. But this evening, I actually got it fixed. It's ready to fly again.
Oh,
the joys of foam board.
That is so awesome.
Like it's for how hard it hit the ground, it did surprisingly little damage.
That is super, super awesome.
So that is my latest outing. It's fun. I love that I have that FT freighter because I can take so long. You dying over there?
Yeah, I got something in my eye, I think.
No, that's
anyway. Sorry.
So it's fun having that FT freighter because I can take it out on it. It has to be a dead calm day because it's slow to respond. If there's wind, it has a hard time.
That one would be good in like a nice big open gymnasium or something where you have a lot of room
It would have
and
to
no
be,
wind.
The tightest radius it can turn is like 50 feet.
But it's so small.
Yeah.
It's just.
But it's powered by it's controlled with differential thrust.
Oh. Okay.
So to turn it left, the right motor spins up faster.
Oh, so it's really,
it's really slow to turn.
That's a larger turning radius than my.
That's when you have it on high rates. When you have it on low rates, it's 100 feet. You need a lot of room to fly.
Okay.
But it's great
so
because
you need a nice big stadium that's indoors.
Yeah, pretty much. You can fly it at the Delta Center.
Yeah, nice. It's no longer called that.
I don't care. It's the Delta Center.
It hasn't been called that for years.
I know, but it's the Delta. Everyone I talk to, even my diehard jazz friends, it's the Delta Center.
That's funny.
Because no one likes the Viva Smart Home Arena.
Are those the only 2 outings you had?
That is it.
Okay.
That is it. I have been working on planes more than I've been flying these last 2 weeks. So
very cool. I mean, I only have
more.
2 planes to work on, so it's a little easier for me.
I have project updates more than I have flight outings. But yeah,
So-
that FT Freighter, like I was saying, it's great because I can sit with the boys in front of me. I can control the throttle because it's kind of pitchy.
Okay.
Or you give it too much throttle and it'll go up and then it'll stall and then you're in trouble. So you have to balance it right to maintain altitude.
Yeah.
But then they can go left and right with it and they'll sit there and do circles all day long. It's great because it flies on a 1-cell 300 milliamp battery, LiPo battery. 350 milliamps, so it'll go for like 15 minutes.
And then you can have like 10 or 15 of those ready at your. I don't know how many you have of those.
I have one.
Oh,
I mean to get more, but
have.
I have yet to drain it all the way.
yeah, right? Because you're never going to.
Yeah, so it's awesome.
So I have a bunch of outing updates.
Yeah, you do.
Okay, so took the night Radion out for the first flight, and it was at dusk time. Derek was with me. We got some video of it.
You got some video. I did not. I was too busy launching.
Oh yeah,
and troubleshooting.
It looks amazing at night, but
really
unfortunately, I will have a beginner tip for you. But I didn't read the instructions all the way through.
Oh, that's
and
right.
So I didn't like the rudder. Nope, not the rudder.
Horizontal stabilizer.
The
horizontal stabilizer.
It was actually the elevator
attached to the horizontal stabilizer.
Okay, that's what it's called. Refer to him for technical information.
Horizontal stabilizer.
My tail wing.
The elevator is attached to the horizontal stabilizer.
I didn't mount it in properly. So
meaning he didn't tape it down.
Yeah. So
like
we didn't have any like crashes. We had some rough landings. They were all rough landings. None of them were crashes.
Yeah. The plane walked away in one piece. That EPP foam is surprisingly rugged.
Yeah.
More rugged than I ever expected it
Yeah.
to be. Gives me more faith in foam planes.
So that was our first outing with that. Looks slick. Then the next day I fixed it up, made sure everything was done right, read through the instructions and make sure I didn't miss anything. It was only one paragraph of one page that I missed because there's not a lot of instructions on putting that thing
there's
together.
really not. But you just missed one of the key details.
It really did. So I fixed all that, and then I took it out the next day during the day,
cool.
and I flew it.
Did it successfully flew it?
Yeah, successfully flew it.
Awesome.
So I was getting really, really nervous because it has such a huge turning radius.
It really does. And being a 2-channel, you can't roll it over.
No.
You have to get up high, and you have to bring it
circle
around.
and like it. Oh my gosh! And
you have to be super gentle on the sticks.
And then people started coming to the park I was at.
Was this at Constitution?
Yeah, and they were playing baseball. So like it just all of a sudden the field just felt really small.
Oh yeah.
Really fast.
Oh yeah.
But some cool things like that motor, I kick it in because I was using the LiPo 3S 2200 milliampere 25C.
Yes. So in case you don't know, the FT or the E-Flite Radian is a motor glider or
yes,
a power
it's
glider.
A power glider.
So it has a propeller on the front or a motor on the front with a folding propeller so that you can you can turn it on, fly it up to altitude, turn it off, the propeller folds back,
and then you just
and
glide
then you
it down.
do your gliding.
Yeah.
And then when you get down low enough, you power it back up and go again.
Exactly, which I should have done a couple times
All right,
and
carry
never
on.
had it land. But
landing, you need to practice your landings.
I really do need to
I
practice,
need to practice my landings.
With that, on my highlight on this one, so I felt very nervous, was doing okay. I had a couple soft crashes. I call them soft crashes because one of them, it actually kind of cartwheeled a little bit, but I was really, when its ground effect is like I need to really practice on a simulator with a similar glider for ground effect, because I would get it down and it just would not go down.
Yeah.
Fully glide. I'm not even powered. It's just gliding. And I'm like, go down. And it's like, no, I'm going to go up instead. No, go down. No. And then so I'd turn it and kind of go down, and then I'd
it would roll.
skid it.
Yeah.
I only cartwheeled once. And it wasn't
okay.
in a full cartwheel. It was like one wing, nose, and then belly. So it was
okay,
only
yeah.
a partial cartwheel.
Yeah,
All
okay.
the rest of them were more of a nose, wing, and belly pretty much at the same time instead of the belly.
Okay, sweet.
So, like I said, soft crashes.
Well, those are I'd call those good landings.
No, they were not good landings.
Oh, okay,
They were
never mind.
more soft crash. They were hard. They were harder hittings.
Oh, okay, cool.
But I just couldn't get it to come down.
Picasim has a good.
I have Picasim.
I know, but it has a good 2-channel glider.
I just need to
Practice it. Yeah.
play it.
I'm just letting you know. There's your practice.
Yes.
So. What was I thinking?
Because the design of this, it's all foam board.
It's all EPO foam or EPP foam, not foam board.
Okay, sorry. What?
Foam board is the paper stuff that I use for my flight test
it's all
planes.
foam. It's all foam. But the control rods for the elevator and the rudder are pushed into the foam with metal.
Yeah.
Which I think is kind of a poor design. They're not secure. They're just pushed in.
They're not glued?
No. Well, one is glued now, and now I need to glue the other one. So on that one, one of the last landings, obviously, was the harder cartwheel one.
Okay.
It popped the elevator. And I pushed it back in, and I'm like, okay, so it's not destroyed. It's just popped it out, and I could see the holes were a little bigger.
Mm-hmm.
So I took them home, glued it, and
Okay.
taped it so
Okay.
it would hold in, because the glue that I'm using does not glue to foam.
Did you use your regular CA glue?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to get some other glue for this.
That same company that makes that CA glue also
Yeah.
makes a foam safe glue.
That is good.
Always use foam safe glue on foam or epoxy. Epoxy, be careful, but CA will usually melt foam.
It didn't melt it. It didn't ever get hard. It just ran around the foam, and I lifted and it would run down it. So I cleaned it up with a tissue and then tried to drop it in. Then finally I'm like, okay, drop, metal, tape.
Yeah, go to West Valley Hobbies and get yourself some foam safe glue.
That's what I got to do.
Yeah.
So my last outing, I actually took it out again and had another the harder landing, and it popped out the other side. So I need to fix that one now. And I knew it was going to happen just because I have a really hard time landing. And that ground effect on that thing is just dumb.
That's what I was going to say. So ground effect, something to know about ground effect. The area, like the elevation at which you will be hit by ground effect first is the wingspan.
Yes,
So-
which is where I got to every single time.
For a 2-meter glider, 2 meters above the ground is where you'll start being affected by ground effect.
Yeah.
For my small little 27-inch wing, it'll be right at the bottom at the ground. It
and
won't
you
even matter.
Yeah. But
Well, it'll probably end up coming back to bite me in the tail.
yeah, but 2 meters off the ground is enough to crash it.
Oh yeah, that's enough to
Especially
roll it
foam.
over. And, oh yeah, but that plane is surprisingly heavy.
Oh, and
Even without the battery, it
Yeah.
is a tank
the,
of a plane.
The motor on that is super, and I only put the 2200 ampere hour 25C. I have a 35C, and that thing will rip it out of my hand if I go full throttle.
Oh yeah. Well, so you know the difference in the C ratings, right?
That's how much it punches when you first kick it in.
It's how much it's allowed to punch.
Okay,
It's not
that's-
how much it will
But it's how much it can punch.
before it burns up. Yeah.
And it just like those things. It was super fun, super scary, and it is a completely different flight between the glider and the powered. By the way.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, it goes from like this gentle giant just soaring in the sky to what my elf would do. Just takes off and doing flips and crazy stuff. I'm like, no. So super crazy. Then my last outing
I just saw that.
was this morning. So I fixed my elf.
The elf is no longer on the shelf
Nope,
yet.
kind of. So I'm like, okay, I want to fly it. I've taken it with me all 3 times that I've gone and flew my night Radian.
Okay.
Never flew it.
Okay.
So this morning, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go out and fly it. And it was pretty heavy winds, constant, probably 10 miles an hour with gusts, probably 12 to 15 miles an hour. So
Okay.
pretty good.
Yeah.
2 things to note. I think I may have damaged one of my antenna receivers when I was fixing it because
Okay.
it's a little looser and moves a little easier right at the connector. It looks like it's still connecting, but I'm not sure. So I get out there and I do a gentle toss into the wind.
Okay.
Not even a full step, just to lift my leg and toss step. And it just shoots up into the air. And I'm like, oh, go forward. And I tilt it forward and it just flips behind me. And I'm like, oh, crap. But I'm following it. I look behind me and it's going towards the fence of the baseball diamond. I'm like, no, come back. And then it looked like it was flying backwards towards me against the wind. And I'm like, come on back around. Don't hit the fence. And I'm coming around, and I'm trying to get it to come back. And it looked like it's doing weird things in the wind that I'm not like, it's not acting.
Were your servos reversed?
No, they weren't. I checked them
Okay.
before. And so I'm like, okay, come on back. So I kind of circle it around, and I'm probably 30 or 40 feet in the air. Somewhere between 30 and 40 feet in the air.
All right.
And I'm bringing it down, and then it's just getting closer and closer to the diamond fence. And I'm trying everything I can to bring that thing back. And it's doing things wrong in the air. Like it was hovering facing the wrong way with the tail towards me, which was now the tail was against the wind. And it wasn't moving forward as far as I could tell. I don't know
I think your vision may have gotten disoriented. That sounds completely wrong.
I know. And then it wasn't reacting like it was supposed to be. I couldn't, and so I know part of it.
That is one issue. If you're flying with the wind in a glider and you try and turn, you have much less authority.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay, carry on.
I know. And so I'm like, okay, I just want to turn this around and bring it to the ground. And I'm probably 8 to 10 feet now. I'm slowly bringing it down, right? I'm letting it come down just gradually. And so I'm like, I'm probably 15, 20 feet from the fence. And I'm like, I don't want to slam this through the fence. I'm going to shear my wings off because I know it was going pretty fast.
Yeah.
And so I grab it and I'm tilting it to the wind. And I don't know what happened, but it comes around, it turns, and then all of a sudden it just goes, it kind of wiggles up a little bit and then just goes straight down.
Weird.
It's just
Rip. So what's broken?
It broke the nose again.
This is the third time.
Dislodged the servos.
Yeah.
One of my control arm attachments to the servos came off. I didn't find it. Didn't know it was missing until I
All right.
was walking back.
Did you forget to put the screw in?
No. Everything was...
Okay.
No, it's not not the one that attaches directly to the servo, but the little tiny metal piece that you hook into.
Gotcha.
That hooks to the control. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's gone.
The little end of the control rod.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And I'm going to have to decide what to do with it. Because there was only probably a quarter of an inch, maybe an eighth of an inch where it could have broken because I've repaired it twice in that same area.
Yeah.
And that's right where it broke. I thought I had butt the repair that I did last time right up against the other one.
Apparently you didn't.
And I must not have.
So it broke in between the two repairs.
Yes. Trashed the servo. So the tip of the servo, one of them did break.
Mm-hmm.
The other side, and then the one side, the control piece connector is gone. So I have to go order another one of those. And so I was a little irritated.
Yeah.
So I got home, took the wings off. I got back in my car. It was the first flight.
Ouch.
Got back in my car. Got home, took it apart, took everything out of it. It's stripped down to nothing. So I'm going to get back on and see if I can find the fuselage piece for it or something.
The boom.
Yeah, because that's that's the whole piece in the center, right, which is technically the fuselage, is completely destroyed.
I got a lot of stuff from my father-in-law. Guess what came in it?
Oh.
Carbon fiber rods.
Those are really, really tiny. I need the big, the center.
No, but here's what you do. Because, you said it broke in that little 1/4-inch area.
Yeah.
Drill a hole through the front piece of balsa that you glued in last time. Drill a hole through the back piece that you did the time before. Make a little plug to go in between the two and slide this carbon rod through all of it to reinforce the entire front end of the nose.
I will have to see about doing that.
I'm letting you know because I have a ton of carbon. Is that carbon fiber? Or is that's carbon fiber?
Well, yeah, I could add a little bit of weight to it, and it would be fine because my elf is super, super light.
Yes, but the key is we can probably fix it.
We'll see. But right now, all the servos are off. The receiver is off. The battery is out. Well, I mean, I only taped the battery in anyway.
Yeah.
All the wires and controllers are out, and
so the elf is going to be on the shelf for a while.
It's going to be on the shelf for a while.
Different projects.
I was very, very irritated by that.
I would be too.
So.
Well, that's too bad.
But my project update, I did finish the elf.
Yay!
And then I destroyed the elf.
Yay!
So I will fix it again. I've just got to do some research on parts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
To see what I can do to fix it. Because I do enjoy flying that elf. It is a fun thing to fly. And it doesn't terrify me nearly as much as my Radial does.
Well, and it's honestly good practice for the Radial because they're both 2 channels.
Yes, they are.
You just gotta Radial's slower.
They fly completely different.
Yeah.
So, and then I already talked about I got my Radial ready for flight, and we've flown it. So that was another project update. I've been testing that battery charger. So the battery charger is the ISDT Q8 Smart Charger. And this
it's pretty sweet.
Is slick. Like it has, you can set, so depending on what amperage you can pull from your power source, you can change that. You can change, it automatically senses, because it's got the smart charger, so you plug in your battery into that and then your power into the other one, and it will tell you what each cell is sitting at. You can adjust your amperage of how quickly you want to charge it according to what power you can offer it.
Yep.
It gives you the reading of what your power is bringing in.
Oh, nice.
And it has a charge setting, a storage setting, and a destroy setting, which is discharge, right? I mean, but that it will
discharge it down to 0.
Yeah, and destroy it completely. This thing, I have not fully tested it yet, but I have played around with it with every single battery that I can connect it to.
So all his batteries are charged.
Yes, and I've discharged. I've not discharged, but did storage on some of them just to test it. Yeah. And I'm testing the batteries too.
Oh yeah.
Right? So, freaking so far, love it, love it, love it, love it.
That's good.
Yeah. So let's see. And then I started testing those batteries, obviously, because I was playing around with the charger.
Yep.
So far, like I said, the 2200 milliamp E3S25C is been awesome. I'm a little scared to put the 35C on there to see if it changes.
You won't notice anything.
Okay, I was not sure if I would notice something or not.
Again, so the only thing, that C rating just tells you how quickly it can discharge. So the higher the C rating, the more amps it can put out quickly. So that's why quads will run like a 1300 4S 65C, so it can,
or a 90
C, so it can burst it and really throw it up there.
Yeah.
Whereas for bigger planes, you don't need that so much, and like.
Yeah, but
you won't notice any difference.
I'm sure when I first punch it is the only time I'll notice it.
You won't even notice it.
You don't
then.
think so? Okay.
No.
Because I'm a little afraid to throw that other one in there. Because just this, I mean, it's a glider, so I use it, power it up, and then glide it down. And then power it up and glide it down. And the servos in there are pretty small servos.
Yeah.
Not the smallest I've seen, but they're fairly small servos. So the power consumption is...
It's almost nothing when you're not powering it.
Yeah, and with that 2200 milliampere hours...
You'll go forever.
Oh, yeah. I literally could fly that thing for hours.
Yep.
Depending on weather conditions. So that's
And Crowded Park.
Yeah, and Crowded Park. So that's the projects that I have. I actually have one more that I've been started today. It's that Arduino RC vehicle project.
Yeah, so let's hear what you've got going there.
So what I've started is I've taken my VD5M receiver, and I've paired it to my transmitter. And I've plugged in and tested some batteries with some servos in there. That's it. So I played with that. That's that part. Then a few hours ago, I had plugged in my Arduino and was getting it set up so I could read what I was. So when I send a signal to on my channel 3, so turning left or right, right?
Yeah.
What signal am I reading? So right now I'm not getting any real good feedback yet, so I got to play around with the connections to make sure I've got it connected right.
Okay.
Which I think I know what I have to do, but I'm not sure. So right now is all I'm trying to do is read the signal.
Okay. Yeah, the signal that those put out is, since it's designed for servos, or it's designed as a servo signal.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting to see, because I know on our transmitters you can go in and adjust the center of the servo.
Yeah.
In the radio and receiver, because I forget what the units are, but a servo is supposed to be centered when the whatever appropriate units it comes through at 1500. And if it's not sitting perfectly centered at 1500, you adjust it one way or the other to center it out. And that way you don't have to change your trim settings. So you got to figure out a way to read that 1500 number, whatever. I wish I could remember what units that's in.
Yeah, so I'm going to do some research on that and figure out how I need to interface with that, because it would be kind of fun to use my I've got some speed controllers coming, like I said, that I will be able to interface with. But it would be nice to be able to say, with the Arduino, it's like, here's my signal. So on this 5-channel, like, I could really do whatever I wanted.
Yeah.
You know, I could have one channel for steering, because if I put this in a car, which is most likely what I'm going to do, I can steer with one channel. I can forward reverse with the other channel, and then I have 3 more channels to do whatever I want with. Now, one of those will be the power input for the receiver, because it doesn't have a power input of its own. So I still have 2 other channels. But I could use the signal wire if I can figure out. Yes. So I have 5. So I could put, like, I have a laser, an actual class, what is it, class 8 laser, I can't remember, that I could put on there and use. So anyway,
laser pointers.
Yeah, I got a lot of different things that I want to do once I understand how that signal works.
Yeah, that's going to be the fun part, is figuring out that signal.
Exactly. So I'm excited for that, and so I've got 3 of those receivers that I can play around with, and then I have 2 of the RX4R receivers.
Yeah.
And I will probably test on those too.
Oh yeah. But
and
thankfully, the output signle on those should be the same. Yeah.
Should be.
Jinx.
Yeah. All right.
Oh,
so
cool.
those are my project updates. So I've been busy.
Yeah, you have. Yeah, you have. All right. So
what do you
on to
got
my
going on
projects.
here?
All right. So I covered my Chaos Wing. So that flying wing that I've been building,
Yeah.
I have it 95% covered.
Yeah, you have the 2
So I've got
flaps there.
I got the 2, if you want to grab it up there off the shelf. So I've got my 2 control surfaces covered, just flat, glossy black. I've got one spot that's coming up that I need to fix. I decided to go with a black fuselage and transparent red wings, because there's just something about
Naked balsa.
just being able to see the balsa frame that is just awesome, especially since this frame, the guy designed it to have the truss structure, those triangle cutouts. So it just looks awesome.
It is a gorgeous looking plane.
And I did, like, the covering went a lot better than I expected it to. Like, I thought I was going to have a nightmare of a time, but it went really smoothly. I just took my time and was really careful with it, and it went great. I do still need to do the fins that will go into slots I need to cut here in the covering, and it'll get glued between those 2 ribs.
Which is the first rib outside of the fuselage area.
Yeah.
So
So
just
there's the
for those who
fuselage.
are not on
Yeah.
the video.
Yeah,
But
there's a double rib with a gap between them
yeah.
that the vertical fins will sit in. So I still need to cut that, I need to sand the fins, cover them, cut those slots, and glue them in place.
Yeah.
And then I will start putting the electronics back on, and she'll be ready to fly.
Oh my gosh, the
I
thing
got-
looks. It is like check out the wherever he's.
I posted it to Instagram a little while. At the time of this recording, it was like a week and a half ago.
Yeah, so check out those if you haven't already.
Yeah, if you
Because
follow
it's
us on Instagram and Facebook, you've already seen it. And
It's a very sexy plane.
yeah,
Like I think it's very, very good looking plane.
and then I have cut the slots in the control surfaces for my hinges. What these are, so this is what's called CA hinges. There's my 9:30 alarm. So these are called CA hinges. What it is just this little sheet. Let me grab the whole thing. So it's this sheet of this woven fiberglass stiff stuff that you cut into pieces, and you'll cut slots in your control surfaces and slots in the where the control surface mounts. You'll have them spaced apart by the width of just a regular push pin, and then you'll just dump a whole bunch of thin CA, and it'll wick all the way through that entire thing and adhere itself to the wood, and then but it's still flexible. At the
Even
hinge
after
point.
it's been glued.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I need to. My next step is that's one of my next steps is to get those on, and then I just need to start putting on the electronics and however my control horns on the control surfaces.
And is that so? Those are your flex. So is there a rod through that at all, or is that the connecting point?
That is the connecting point.
That is the connecting point. Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I'll be sure to put more pictures and stuff up on our social medias so you guys can see as that project continues.
Yeah, it's looking,
but it's coming along. I have one of the batteries I got from rcbattery.com is going in there. It's a 3S 1000 milliamp.
Yeah, that's gonna push
I've
good.
test fitted it and it fits perfectly. Like, thankfully, they have dimensions of all their batteries on their website, so I checked to make sure beforehand. And then when it got here, I shoved it in there and it fits perfectly. It's going to be great, so long as I don't burn out my ESC, which there is a slight chance of. But we'll see what happens. So that plane's coming along great. I'm excited for it. When I was covering these control surfaces, I tried to do it in one piece. So it's aileron, or it's just flat stock cut in a weird trapezoid thing. But I tried to do it in one piece and fold it over like a taco and cover it that way. That failed horribly. It started sticking to itself all over the place. So I tore all that off and then covered it in two pieces. So I did one across the bottom, folded it around, and then I did one across the top and folded it around.
Nice.
So, but it's covered nicely. I've only got one spot that's delaminating on one of them that I need to. I must not have glued down all the way, so I need to hit that with the iron again.
May not have had it hot enough when you went over that.
Or not held it there long enough.
Or that too.
Yeah. So that's that project. Then I've got my FT Mini Mustang that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, which...
So it was a foam board kit. My brother gave it to me about 50% complete. So
Okay.
I had to, he gave me the fuselage complete. I had to finish the wing and apply all my own electronics. Thankfully, I already have the Flight Test Power Pack A, which is the power pack they designed to go into these size planes.
Okay.
So, because that was one of the first things I bought RC related was a Power Pack A, so that I could because I scratch built myself the Flight Test Tiny Trainer.
Okay. Cool.
And that was the first one I ever flew. So all the electronics out of that went into the Mustang, and like I said in the latest outings, it flies great. It handles so well. I used one of the LIPO 500 3S, and absolutely beautiful. So that plane is working. Again, my wife crashed it. I got it fixed today because foam board is easy because all you need is tape and hot glue. So
Nice.
I'm probably going to take it to work with me tomorrow.
Oh, cool.
Because we have a huge empty parking lot next door.
Does that turn pretty good then?
Oh, it turns so well.
Yeah. That has 3 control surfaces, right?
It has full elevator, rudder, aileron.
Oh, that has everything. Okay,
It has everything.
nice.
It is a very controllable plane and surprisingly flies really well.
That is...
For tiny planes, I was flying in no wind, and smaller planes tend to be a little trickier to fly, but
Yes.
this thing flew great. I loved it. Like, loved it so much that I've got what I need to fix the issues I'm having with my CNC foam board cutter.
Uh-huh.
I want to get it fixed so I can build the Flite Test Simple Mustang, which is the big version.
Okay.
So this tiny one has a, what do you think, 20-ish to 27-inch wingspan?
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe 24-ish, give or take a
Probably
few.
24.
The full-size one has like a 40 to 50-inch wingspan.
Ooh, double those.
Yeah, and it runs on the power pack that I have in my Simple Cub.
Okay.
So I want to get that plane cut out and flying.
Yeah.
So that's going to be one of my next projects. I've got a ton of projects, I know, but flying that,
Winter is coming.
winter is coming, the season of projects, and honestly, the season of foam board planes. So I want to get that up and running so that I can get those projects going. So
yeah.
that,
Very-
and then I can get my wife flying more, because she had a lot of fun flying the Mustang. She just needs a little bit more practice, so I need to get her on the simulator. But once she gets a little bit more practice, and I take the next time I take her out, I will set up a trainer controller. So I'll do a wired trainer. I've got tons of spare radios. So what you do is you take basically a 3.5 mil auxiliary cable with male ends on both ends. Plug one into your master transmitter and one into your what's called the slave transmitter.
Yeah.
The new person holds the slave, I hold the master, and then I set it up so I flip a switch, or when it's default, I'm flying. I flip a switch, they now have control.
Yep.
And then when I let go of the switch, I have control again. So my wife can be holding the transmitter and I can flip it and say, your plane. She can fly it around. If she gets into trouble, I let go. I don't even have to say anything to her. I can just let go and, ow.
Hit the microphone.
Hit the microphone. I can just let go of the switch and take back control and save it from crashing if that
If
possibility comes
possible.
up.
Yeah. That's, trainers
So,
are pretty cool.
I looked up how to set that up on the FreeSky TARANIS. I don't even have to use another FreeSky radio. I can use my old Spectrum radio
Really?
to connect to. Yeah.
Because your
everything-
TARANIS is the one that's sending the
everything runs through my TARANIS. The only thing that's coming from the other radio is stick input.
signal. That is actually really cool.
Yeah. Now, we could do it with our radios and do it wirelessly
Yeah.
because we have the
Because we can
special editions.
Yeah. And we can sync them together. And
Yeah.
you can be the trainer and I can be the trainee.
Yep.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
should set that up so we can use it.
Yes.
Even if we never use it, we should just have it available.
Yeah. We should set it up. We
So-
should definitely do that.
So yeah, that's what I've got going on. I haven't done anything with the Willy Nilly's Gentle Lady yet. I'm trying to. I want to finish the Chaos Wing and fly it first.
Yes. Then you can
And-
start your next project.
Well, and then I also need to finish the EF-16. I haven't touched that in a while.
Yeah. You have a lot more projects than me. And I have
Yes.
a couple
Do you
projects.
know how hard it is to not buy more projects?
Yes.
Okay. It's really hard.
But fortunately for me, I don't have to spend much money because I already have a lot of electronics that I can tinker with.
Yeah. I do plan on buying a bunch more receivers because so I'm going to buy, speaking of new products or more products, FreeSky has the Archer R4
Yeah,
receiver.
I was looking at that.
Yeah. So it's the Archer Series 4-channel. I want to get two of those, one for the Chaos Wing and one for the EF-16. That way they can go in those planes and just stay there
Yep. And not have
until the plane's dead. And then I can have a couple other ones that I cycle through stuff.
Yeah.
My GR6 that's in the Spirit, that one's going to stay there.
Yeah.
When the Gentle Lady's finished, I'm going to put another GR6 in that one, and it'll stay there. And then I'll just have some regular R6s that I can cycle through my flight test planes.
Very cool.
So
Very cool.
and that is coming up.
All right. So, what else do you have? That's all your projects
That is all
for
my
right now, right?
I think so.
All right. So, beginner tips.
Is that all my projects? Oh no!
Oh, wait.
Well, kind of.
What's the other one? I don't know.
So I mentioned this a while ago, but I got a 40-something inch trainer high wing plane with floats for my little brother, and it came with a OS 40 nitro engine on it.
Okay. Yeah.
And I pulled the nitro engine off. There's a lot of repairs that need to be made, so I've started working on that. Haven't touched it in a while, but I'm going to be converting it to an electric plane,
Yeah.
keeping it on floats because I want to be able to fly it on water.
Yeah. It'd be cool.
But so you'll see more of this, but today we just opened part of our sponsor kit from rcbattery.com and they sent us a 5,000 milliamp 6S and a 6,000 milliamp 6S.
Yes.
These things are monster batteries.
They are.
And I'm going to put one in that float plane. I've
Yeah.
already figured out which motor I need or what I'm going to put in it. I know which ESC is going to go with it. Those two alone will be over $100 together.
Okay.
Like, because I need to be able to handle 6S and a whole lot of amps.
Yeah.
The motor actually may be overkill, but that's okay. So I've got plans for that.
You're gonna rip the motor out of the.
Yeah,
fuselage.
I will have to beef up that firewall. Because it'll.
I don't know. Right now, it looks pretty sturdy,
It does.
and it had a gas engine in there, a nitro engine.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, granted, your initial kick from the electric is
higher.
Yeah.
Because it's more responsive.
Yeah.
So now here's the thing. The motor I'm looking at, it's an Emax motor. It's the Emax 4036 or something.
Okay.
So 40 millimeters by 30-something millimeters is the stator sized. So overall dimensions, it's like 50 millimeters tall and 46 millimeters in diameter.
Okay.
So it's a beast of a motor.
Yeah, it is.
I looked at the specs for it, and if you're running it off 6S with a 14-inch prop, 14 by 7, it'll put out 11 pounds of thrust. Way more than that plane needs. But to run a 6S battery, I need that big of a motor.
So what you do is you set 100% to only 3/4, so you never hit 100%.
Yeah, because like this will be an awesome float plane.
Yeah,
It'll be a very aerobatic.
you're
Float
going to
plane.
be able to do some very fun things with that.
I'll be able to fly it. With that setup, I'll probably have unlimited vertical.
Yeah,
I'll be able to
just go up.
Yeah.
Until your transmitter
I'll
disconnects.
be able to 3D that plane above the water.
Yeah.
So that's going to be exciting. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that is. So that's all. That's
that finishes
project
your
updates.
projects?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I
that
think
takes us down to our very last section. Beginner tips. You've got one in here.
I do have one. So when you're working with monocoat or any type of iron-on heat shrink covering, take it slow. Take it cool. Start on low temperatures because, like I've said before, you start on a low temperature to apply it, and then as things loosen up, you can apply a higher temperature to shrink and re-tighten it.
Yeah.
Make sure that everything is tacked down. There is one spot on here on the bottom wing you can see in the video where it's kind of wrinkly, and you can see that there's a double layer. I didn't fully attach the edge down to that spar right next to the fuselage. So when I went to shrink it, it started pulling away.
Ooh.
So I had to stop immediately, cut a quick thin strip, and tack it down properly and keep it from pulling itself off the wing because I didn't want to recover that whole section.
No.
That would have been a nightmare.
Yeah.
So, yeah, take it slow, take it carefully. Make sure you have everything that needs to be, like all the important spots tacked down, make sure they're tacked down. And then shrink it in place. So that is my beginner tip.
So my beginner tip, I mentioned both of these, but so first one is when you got your new project and you're putting it together, read all of the instructions first.
Yeah, read if you did what Steven did and ordered a plane online, 90% of the time you can download the instruction manual from the website.
Yeah.
Do that, read through it
Yes.
twice.
Yes.
And then twice more.
Read it while you're putting it together.
Yeah. Then once you get it, read it again, and then read it while you're
yeah.
putting it together.
No harm came to my glider because I didn't do that.
You just didn't have much control.
But it's only because we had started in the dusk and it was dark when we finished and we decided to call it.
We got way excited because he came over and had me help him get everything set up and make sure that all the electronics were working properly.
And then
it's because we had to redo a battery connector.
Yeah, we had
the
to redo.
ESC had an EC3 instead of an XT connector on it.
So we changed that out, and then we're like, let's go flying. And he's like, okay, let's go flying. And so all the boys went out and went to the park and did a little flying. And so, but just that's beginner tip number one that I have. Read the instructions. Read the instructions. Read the instructions.
To go with that, it's really exciting with a new plane. But try to avoid the spur of the moment. Let's go fly this now.
Yes.
Because that's when you lead to stuff like this.
I mean, nothing
terrible happened. You're right. But that's what leads to potential things.
Yes.
Because we weren't even sure we had the CG right.
No.
So you really want to take your time, make sure the plane is 100% ready to go, and then go.
I'm going to have to check the center of gravity again because it might be a little off, but my battery weight is different than their battery weight, and so I got to do a little bit of math. Yeah, to make sure.
Just slide the battery in and out.
Yeah.
Play with it a bit. So yeah, there you go.
And then my last one, simulated flight learning is the cheapest way to learn how to fly.
Yes.
Even if you spend $150 on your flight simulator, that's cheaper than burning through airplanes.
It's true.
Because I have fixed my ELF twice.
A lot of times. Yeah.
Majorly twice.
Yeah. And
it was $180.
Yeah. So there's PicaSim, which is free. It works with all major transmitters. You just need to be able to connect to the computer.
Yep.
And it's got powered planes. It's got gliders. It's got a whole bunch of conditions. It's really basic, but really good.
Yeah.
Like I've got it on my phone. I fly that one-handed on my lunch break because I just pull up the 2-channel glider and just whee all over the slope. It's great fun. So yes, I second that wholeheartedly. No, a simulator is never going to be
exactly
just
right.
like real life. But what it teaches you is the coordination. It teaches you how to see the plane, how to judge its orientation, and then how to respond. Because flying towards you
is different.
Is a nightmare.
Yeah,
that is the hardest part.
And it will help with your hand-eye coordination.
Yes.
Also, so like he said, when you're flying away from you, you'll have auto muscle memory, and when you're flying towards you, you'll have auto muscle memory.
Yep.
Barring you practice those things. And I haven't played around with the environment variables in PicaSim, but I believe you can change like your wind speeds also as part of that. And so that is very important because I would probably still have an ELF today.
Yeah.
In fact, I should have listened to my gut. It was gusting a little higher, but and that's only because it had been 3 weeks since I'd flown that thing.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to fly it.
Yeah, don't let yourself get caught up in I just want to fly.
Yeah.
Because then you break stuff.
So, which is why I have not taken my
Radial
out again. I think the next time, where I'll fly it is at the water towers because that's a little bit bigger space.
The only problem is you got those event poles.
I do, which terrifies me.
We should.
But
I've got a couple other places we can try.
Okay. But I want to get some hours on my PicoSim.
Yeah.
With that glider.
There are plenty of people out there that say flight simulators are not worth it. Get out there and fly a real plane. And tons and tons of people back in the old days before computers and flight simulators learned that way. And it's great.
Yes.
Absolutely great.
Which is where, like, trainers and
the buddy box system connecting transmit. Yeah, like it's a great way to learn.
But you have to have a buddy.
You have to have a buddy. You have to have a buddy that really knows what they're doing.
Yes.
So a flight simulator, it's not the ideal way, but it is an excellent way to build up that muscle memory and learn and really figure it out.
Yeah, and it's going to give you a really great idea.
I've crashed several $1,000s worth of planes in my flight simulators and not had to spend a dime.
No. So like that, and that's what I'm getting at on this beginner tip. Get out and fly. Don't be afraid to get out and fly, but utilize the tools that you can to improve the chances of the survival of your plane.
Absolutely.
Because you never know what's going to happen, and it's always a possibility you're going to crash. But if you've simulated stuff, you're going to have a better idea of how to handle it.
Yeah. And if your simulator allows you to turn on wind and gusting and stuff, do
that.
It. Yeah. Practice in no wind so you get the feel of the controls, but then learn how to fly with wind.
Yeah, because wind is going to happen if you're outside.
That's something that I've really struggled with is flying in wind because I've always been terrified of it. But like that, what I told you guys about last time when I went with my brothers to the north side of Point of the Mountain and it was slightly windy, and I flew the Cub. It went great. You just need to know how to fly in the wind.
Like, so I would love to take my Radial up to the Point of the Mountain.
It would do great.
It would be amazing.
It would.
I would never have to. I would never have to land.
Yeah.
I could fly forever.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, and my batteries would let me.
Yeah. You'd get bored before you'd run out of battery.
I would.
You'd be dead bored.
Yeah, and I would be able to let you fly until you were bored.
Yep.
And then we could switch batteries if we wanted to. Because I have 2 of them.
And do it again. I have 2 of them. We could go for days.
Just get up there and just, all right, you want to fly? Sure.
When the wind switches directions, we could fly it to the other side. We could power it and fly it to the other side and keep going.
Yeah.
That'd be a long walk.
Oh, yeah, it would be. But
Okay.
super, super fun.
I do want to get out to the slope again because I want to get the Spirit in the air.
Yeah, I want to go out with you. But I want to, like I said, before I fly, I think before I get out and fly my Radial again, I want to get a little more simulation time.
Absolutely.
Because I do not. I mean, it was $220, which is a great price. Like, I haven't spent super amounts of money between my 2 planes. I mean, a bit of money.
Yeah.
You know, $400 between the 2 of them, roughly. Plus, well, actually, we're closer to $500 with my receivers.
Transmitter and receivers.
My transmitter takes me to $600.
Yeah, I'm well over that.
But $600 between 2 planes and the electronics is really not that bad.
That's not terrible at all.
But one of them is dead in the water, to say.
Yeah.
I mean, if there were water, it would be in it, dead.
It's had its, what are the wings on birds that you clip, or the feathers on birds that you clip?
Yeah.
It's had its feathers clipped.
Yes.
We'll just say that.
I'm so sad about that because I really enjoy flying the Elf, and I will be getting it back together, but I'm going to be practicing discus launch glider on the Pico Sim because there is one, and I'm going to practice my Radion because there's a 2-meter glider on there.
I think there's even a powered 2-meter
I
glider
can't remember. I was going to say I can't remember if there's a powered version. I really hope there is.
I'm pretty sure there is.
And I will be flying that, and I'm going to be flying that a lot, and a lot, and I've got winter coming. So
that's the perfect simulator practice time.
Yep. Do we have anything else?
I don't think so.
I mean, I've been so excited about this last 2 weeks that I've been doing all kinds of stuff. Having a great time, been loving it. Thanks again to rcbatteries.com. They are sponsoring us right now, and we will be putting out reviews on the batteries. And remember your battery code.
Your discount code,
right
15% off. You've got until the 31st, and then that runs out.
Yep. So
be sure to jump on that because, my word, these batteries so far are awesome.
It will be, you'll have 2 weeks after this comes out.
I think it's less than that.
When does this one come out?
This one comes out on the 19th. So you'll have
a week and a half.
Yeah.
Roughly.
A
But
week
you've
and a half.
already gotten the code because we on the one that released
2 weeks
Tuesday.
ago.
Tuesday.
Monday. 2 weeks
Monday.
ago. 2 weeks ago at the time of this release.
Yes. 2 weeks ago at the time of this release. You got that code. Hopefully you've been utilizing it.
Well, you've utilized it.
Yeah.
Because it's one use per customer.
Oh, that's right. Hopefully you've utilized it.
So make your order
anyway,
biggish.
It is freaking awesome. Again, we're just saying thanks to you guys, the RCU batteries, and all the rest of you who are watching us and checking us out. We love you. So if you have nothing else.
Yeah, if we have nothing else, I think that's my cue to read the thing.
Yes.
Let us read the thing.
Read the thing.
Remember, when flying inverted, and this is key, up is down and down is expensive.
Yes, it is. Very.
Even when you're not upside down, down is expensive.
Yes, it is.
RPM is how hard you get the ground, and torque is how far you have to dig it out.
And I had to do both.
Yeah, well, surprisingly, when my wife nosed the Mustang into the ground, it wasn't too deep. It just bounced. Because foam board.
Yeah.
Not even out electronics on that crash.
That is awesome.
Not even out foam board on that crash. I'm out like an inch of a glue stick.
That's pretty awesome.
All right, see you guys.
Thanks.